being an educator is about storytelling and be able to tell the story of these subjects to students in a way that makes them eager to learn.
Anything that relates to the real world, environmental aspects, and genetics. I think it's very interesting, and the students are very interested in that.
Food science is kind of a bustling, emerging field. We're all surrounded by elements and the result of food science, whether that be developing new products for a company or R&D or microbiology testing.
So my path of education probably started in high school. Friends of mine, we were really into riding bikes, BMX, and I just became the person that fell in love with photography and wanted to shoot photos everywhere we went. We traveled all over the place, found new things, discovered new places. I studied art education at Kutztown University. That natural love of exploring helps me stay inspired in the classroom and share new things with my students.
I went to East Stroudsburg University, and I got my degree in biology and secondary education. And recently I graduated from Lehigh University with a master's degree in instructional technology.
Right after high school, I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. And then I studied biology in Kutztown and fell in love with the interactions between biology and food. And that's kind of how I progressed my class, is the interactions between food and science.
I like in my STEAM curriculum to try and show them ways that they can use technology to be a creator, to not just be a passive user, but to be an active user, and to shape and use the technology to create. So a big part of my STEAM curriculum is computer science. Students are using blocks of code to create these sort of designs. We can take those designs and print it out on a 3D printer, and now we have a stamp made out of little bits of plastic. We can then take that stamp back to a traditional art form of clay, fire it, glaze it, and now we have artwork that is translated into 3 dimensions and into a traditional art form.
We dive deep into the cellular level of what diabetes means, how it happens in our cells, and they build a real life model of the cell and how insulin and glucose relate to each other, and they build a real life moving model of the cell and while moving everything around. So they have to explain for a normal individual without diabetes, a type 1 diabetes individual, and a type 2 diabetes individual, and be able to show it with all of these moving parts.
One of my favorite projects in my classroom is the What's So Cool About Manufacturing Video Award Ceremony contest, where my students participate in making cupcakes for the award ceremony itself. They use the scientific method as an approach to develop their own recipes for cupcakes, so all of the elements are made by the students themselves.
Someone who inspired me in high school was my anatomy teacher, and I knew right away that's what I wanted to do, so I can share that knowledge with them and also just be better students as well.
Growing up as a kid, I loved watching Bill Nye the Science Guy. Even to this day, I just love the humor in his show, the creativity in his show, the quirkiness of his show. And so I think creating those kind of projects through a STEAM filter of more technology while including art just really fits with all the ways that I love to teach.
When I was young, I really enjoyed Alton Brown and his accessibility, or his ease of accessibility. He made science and food seem. He was the star of a show called Good Eats on the Food Network, and I enjoyed watching that. It's one of the probably primary reasons why I still enjoy the interactions of food and science.
I use STEAM outside the classroom in my dance team at school. I used to dance when I was younger, and I started when I was 3 and danced until I graduated college. So it's really important for them to know the parts of their body and how their body works, and all the muscles, the movements of their bones, and how important it is to have proper nutrition and to get enough sleep, because it's important for them to not only know how to dance, but know how it is properly to dance and to take care of their bodies as well.
Travel and bike riding and hiking and exploring all kind of help me take inspiration from the natural world, from my experiences in my personal life, and bring that into my classroom, and there to want to, outside of school, explore and discover new things and be open to new experiences.
I'm an avid bicyclist. I like to road ride. I really like to ride to a food destination. I eat there and then ride back, and I like to review them on my social media account. I'm a hobbyist woodworker, and I feel like there's a lot of mathematics and creating in woodworking itself. So I like to do wood turning and build furniture for my house.
Something that people don't really know about me is I cannot feel half of my tongue. When I was in high school, I got my wisdom teeth removed and they hit a nerve in my mouth, so I could no longer feel the left side of my tongue. Now I bring this into my classroom with my students because nerve cells cannot regenerate. So in the classroom we talk about my life experience, and then of course they're interested in that because they are at that age where they were getting their wisdom teeth out. So I try to tell them not to worry about that, but we do talk about it when we talk about cells and we talk about the nerves, and they're very interested in all of those questions.
My wife and my 7-year-old son and I spent 3.5 weeks in a car driving across the country. We made it through, maybe about 25 states, 10 or so different national parks, about 5,000 different miles. I try and, share some of those pictures and memories that I have with my students. They'll find out maybe little snippets about me here and there, and hopefully spark their curiosity.
A few years ago, I used to be a little overweight, a lot overweight. I lost 150 pounds in 10 months through bicycling and diet modifications. So when some of my new students come in and see those pictures, they don't understand or believe that it's me.
I do intend on furthering my education in some way, which I'm figuring out at the moment. So who knows what's in store for the future, but right now my place is in the classroom.
Professionally, I have a master's degree in curriculum instruction, so my next career goal is to become an administrator of a high school. A lot of new technology has been designed to help reduce the amount of workers that you need, and I think it's really important for our students to see how the manager, how the owner, or how the chef is using those pieces of equipment to ease the burden on the current workers. So there's always these students who come in with the expectation to use them as a tool, but we need to know how to use them to not see the robot coming in to flip the cheeseburgers, but to be able to be the person who owns the cheeseburger flipping robot.